Witnessing animals display emotions can be both surprising and touching. In this particular story, a mother bear's tears led a man to her ailing cub, and what occurred next was truly astonishing. Kyle had an abiding love for nature. Ever since he was a child, he cherished hiking and observing animals at the nearby zoo. This passion drove him to pursue a career as a veterinarian, fulfilling his dream of helping animals on a daily basis. Working as a vet was indeed fulfilling, as he treated not only domestic pets but also larger animals, including those he once admired at the zoo. However, it came with its own set of challenges. Kyle found himself forming strong emotional bonds with the animals under his care, making it exceptionally difficult when he couldn't save a patient. Despite his best efforts, he couldn't detach emotionally from his patients. Each time he experienced a heart-wrenching loss, but he couldn't help but continue to care deeply for every animal he treated. After several years in the veterinary field, Kyle realized he needed a place to retreat and recharge. While he enjoyed spending time with friends in the city, true relaxation for him meant returning to nature, just as he did in his youth. He decided to reward himself by purchasing a small cabin in the woods. Although it didn't come with a large plot of land, it bordered a national park, ensuring ample space for extended hikes. Being in a national park meant he would always have a quiet sanctuary, free from the intrusion of future developments. His cabin provided the perfect escape. He could sit on the porch, watching birds and eagles soar overhead or observing deer and other wildlife passing by. The solitude was exactly what he needed, far removed from the sounds of the city, replaced by the soothing symphony of nature. One day, after a particularly exhausting week, Kyle arrived at his cabin, shed his work attire, donned his hiking boots, and grabbed an apple before embarking on a walk. As he strolled through the serene forest, breathing in the fresh air and the distant murmur of a river, his racing heart gradually slowed, allowing him to regain his clarity of mind. However, during his hike, he unexpectedly encountered a bear up ahead on the trail. It was at a distance, and Kyle knew to maintain a safe separation. But the bear seemed to have different intentions, slowly approaching him while keeping a watchful eye. Kyle cautiously retreated, but the bear persisted, closing in on him. Then, a movement in the woods caught Kyle's attention, revealing a bear cub beside the mother. This escalated the situation considerably, as a mother bear can be highly protective and aggressive. Aware of the potential danger, Kyle had to think fast. Conventional retreat tactics weren't working. In a bid to deter the advancing brown bear, he raised his arms to appear larger and unleashed a cacophony of noise by stomping his feet and shouting. He hoped that his efforts would convince the bear to halt its approach. However, an incredibly unusual and unexpected turn of events unfolded before Kyle's eyes. Drawing from his experience caring for bears at the zoo, he recognized that something was amiss. The bear did not react as he would have anticipated. There were no signs of aggressive behavior or an instinctive chase. This encounter marked one of the most peculiar moments in Kyle's interactions with animals. Instead of pursuing him, the bear sat down in the forest, her cub clambering over her. It appeared as though the mother bear was shedding tears of despair, an emotional display that deeply moved Kyle. Driven by compassion and curiosity, Kyle decided to approach the bear despite the inherent risks. Was she injured? Something about her demeanor suggested desperation, yet her behavior remained unfamiliar to him. With no clear understanding of the situation, Kyle trusted his instincts, determined to decipher what the bear needed. As he cautiously drew closer, the bear stood up but did not advance toward him. Instead, she started walking toward the river, occasionally glancing back as if beckoning him to follow. Kyle's dedication to helping animals, a lifelong commitment, left him unable to ignore what appeared to be a plea for assistance. Unfazed by her cub's playful interactions with him, the mother bear remained fixated on her mission. She guided Kyle to the river's edge, where a collection of fishing nets lay. Initially puzzled by her interest in the nets, Kyle soon realized their hidden danger. Hidden within the tangled nets, another baby bear was ensnared. With each passing current, the cub was submerged, its life hanging in the balance. The mother bear had attempted to free her offspring, but the complexity of the entanglement had proven insurmountable. She needed a human's help to save her baby, and that's precisely what she was attempting to communicate to Kyle. Time was running out. The little bear was becoming unresponsive. Kyle had no tools with him, certainly no knife to cut the cub free, and there was no time to retrieve one from home. Delaying was not an option. The cub's life depended on swift action. Thinking on his feet, Kyle sprinted along the riverbank, scouring the rocks for an appropriately sharp-edged one. He then swam back to where the struggling cub was ensnared in the nets. With determination and adrenaline coursing through his veins, he began cutting through the thick ropes of the fishing nets. It was a grueling task that left his hands battered and sore, but he pressed on. Finally, enough space was clear to free the cub. Kyle grabbed the little bear and swam to the riverbank with the anxious mother close behind. The cub, initially unresponsive, was revived as Kyle performed chest compressions. Exhausted but resolute, Kyle watched as the cub took its first breath and began breathing again. With a sigh of relief, Kyle sat to the side as the cub, now on shaky legs, reunited with its mother and sibling. The mother bear hugged her rescued cub close, ensuring its well-being. Eventually, the family retreated back into the forest. Once Kyle regained his strength, he made his way back home, still in disbelief over the incredible events that had transpired. He knew he might never encounter the bear family again, but he felt an immense sense of fulfillment and had a remarkable story to share with his friends. The following morning, while sipping coffee on his porch, reflecting on the adventurous hike of the previous day, Kyle could hardly believe his eyes. To his astonishment, the bear and her cubs returned for a visit. This became a regular occurrence, with the mother bear and the cub he had saved continuing to grace Kyle with their presence whenever he visited his woodland cabin.